This is Boxing Tickets NI in association with SB Sports. We're delighted to be joined once again by the public nuisance. Although I think we did a new name for you. Now, I think we came up with one in December, didn't we? Delighted to be joined once again with Sean McComb. Sean, I guess you're probably nearly the highest sort of profile one we've had out of 2023 yet, obviously from Belfast, and I guess probably for you it's a relief to get probably out so early in the year.
100%. Well, I wouldn't even necessarily call this early. I was hoping to be at March time and around March. Um, like I still want to be active. I like to be 3, 4 times a year, and I was training as if like after Christmas break, I was back at training from January, February, hoping to go out in March. Obviously, nothing happened. And a great opportunity arose, and we took it from me. So I'm delighted and I'm very happy to go out this soon. Like.
It sort of took you sort of being co-main event in December, obviously getting your first title, and now opportunities are coming. Do you sort of do you nearly have to sort of? I know we're only a week out from the fight now, but you sort of nearly have to pinch yourself that you're sort of going to be Sky Sports. Obviously, is a thing you sort of grew up sort of watching and going, I'm fighting in Sky Sports. You've obviously been on big profile and obviously top rank and everything else before, but are you sort of having to pinch yourself now that you're a week out from obviously fighting on Sky Sports?
I'm just really excited for the opportunity to be fighting on Sky Sports. Lee Eaton's done a great job getting me there, and um, I'm just buzzing to go on such a good platform because I've been working really well with Pete Taylor. We've got a really good connection. We've got a really good understanding of each other's boxing brains, and that's a perfect platform for me to showcase that skill.
And I know obviously the Kaisee Benjamin fight's been, well, I've sort of known about it, sort of been in the works for the last year. Kaisee obviously is someone then you will probably have studied quite a lot. Did you watch the fight with him and Dalton Smith?
Yeah, I did indeed. A good fight, good cagey fight. I don't expect anywhere near the same type of fight between me and Kaisee. I expect a very high tempo fight. I think him and Dalton was very slow pace, slow tempo. I don't expect Casey Benjamin to be doing the same thing. I've trained for him to come out and come at me from the first bell, and that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna match that tempo, and I'm gonna keep that high pace.
Are you nearly sort of hoping that Kaisee Benjamin might fall into the trap of obviously watching the Gavin Gwynn fight where it wasn't you? Are you sort of hoping at the fact that he looks at the Gavin Gwynn fight, and it's not a discredit. Obviously, Gavin Gwynn just defended his British title and stuff there again, but you
Yeah.
are you are you sort of really hoping that he's looking at that performance, thinking obviously there's somewhere to exploit there. We obviously know, well, I obviously know what was going on in the background and everything else, but are you sort of hoping for him that he looks at that performance rather than the fights you've had since?
Yeah, and not just Casey Benjamin, everyone that I know that that's the only weakness people seen in my career, and that's what they want to do to try and exploit it. So I know the worst thing that people can do is try and do that again on me. So I've prepared for that. That's all my training's been based around, not letting that happen again. And like you said, a lot of stuff happened in the background, and you also need to remember when I decided to call it quits in that fight, I wasn't losing. Like I wasn't losing. It was probably level. Do you know what I mean? It could have been three rounds apiece, and that was probably like a 50% Sean McComb. So like people and you have to understand as well the environment was behind locked doors, like closed doors. It was a small ring. Everything that could have went in Gavin Gwynn's favour did. Um and it'll be a different scenario in a big massive ring in a big arena where I've trained to expect someone to come at me like that. And credit to Gavin Gwynn as well on that because I didn't expect him to come out of the traps the way he did and to be as tough as he was as well. So credit to Gavin Gwynn on that. But I'm well prepared for it to ever happen again.
Birmingham's obviously been a good place for obviously Irish boxers recently. Obviously, Andrew Kaisee, obviously he's been there a couple of times in the utility. I think is it the same arena, utility arena. I know yours is Ginthin Arena. I'm not sure if they've renamed. But obviously he's had a couple of successes there. Birmingham's very close, very easy to get to from Belfast as well, and flights are very cheap. Have you a good crowd coming over? A lot of maniacs coming over
Yeah,
for the
but I've
weekend.
a good crowd coming over. I think there's about what I know of is close to 40. And then St James's Swifts just got in the final of the cup final on the 6th of May as well. So there was a squad of them boys heading over as well. But they've all booked flights, but they can't go due to a cup final. So I've lost a few numbers there. But listen, I know they'll be supporting from home and they'll be there in spirit. So I'm just there to put on a show and no matter where the support comes from, it's always appreciated.
You're obviously you're an entertainer and everything you do. Obviously, your ring walks. I can remember during, was it Bird is the word you had? You obviously love your madness and everything else. You're a born entertainer, so it'll not take long for the crowd in Birmingham to sort of see who you are and obviously what you're about, and not taking too long. They start going, this guy's not wise, but he's full of talent, and get behind you.
Yeah, 100%. There's a good Irish community as well in Birmingham, I believe. So listen, I don't expect them to come out and support me when Kaisee Benjamin's from Birmingham, but I think they'll support a good fight. And I think it will be a great fight. It's going to be a great encounter between myself and Kaisee. Um, and I think when I win, then I'll have a bit more support from maybe a Birmingham, from ones from Birmingham. And I mean, it's just one of them things. It's a dog eat dog world. This is a selfish sport. You gotta win and win, and you gotta take all the support you can get, no matter where it's from.
I guess obviously now with the world ranking as well, I was sort of looking at the world rankings before. Obviously you ranked 15th with WBO. WBO's obviously seems to be super lightweight at the moment. Seems to be the one on the big demand. Obviously you've Taylor, Teofimo Lopez, you've Liam Paro and Barbosa been called for a final eliminator. Jack Catwell's obviously fighting another Irishman in Dara Foley. Obviously a win next week can obviously do you wonders, and obviously at WBO rankings, it can maybe push you up in the top 10.
Yeah, 100%. But listen, when I won the WBO European opportunities, I knew opportunities were going to come. And this is one of them. I'm not looking at it like I'm going to get in the top 10 because that's not the goal here. The goal is just to win this fight and wait on another opportunity coming because opportunities will come, and especially whenever I'm on a bigger, wider platform like Sky Sports, um, and people around the world can start to go, you know what, this guy's good. Let's make this fight or let's make that fight, and other promoters make it an opportunity to see me. And that's where more opportunities will come from. So I'm not even thinking about winning this and getting in the top 10. I'm just thinking about winning this and giving me more opportunities for big fights. And the more you win, the more challenging the fights get, and that's all it is. So that's all it is to me. Like.
Do you see any? Do you put any pressure on yourself to perform next week, knowing at the fact that you're on such a big audience and there's a potential like Gary Cully obviously fought um on the Wood Conlon card last year for Matchroom and obviously ended up getting signed over this performance again. So do you sort of see it similar to the fact that you go and perform in Birmingham next week? That obviously you could getting signed with Boxer, you could obviously getting signed with that promotion, or is it just worrying about your performance and winning, and then everything else take care of itself?
It would be nice to be signed by boxing, regardless. It'd be nice to be signed by a promoter, because then you've got a bit more backing behind you. But I'm not worried about anything. I mean, I've been sparring flat out all year. I just do what Pete tells me to do, and that's it. There, there's not much that can go wrong when Pete's telling me what to do, and he can see what's working. I just do it. Simple as that. It's not a worry. It's just do it. Like if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. We'll do something else. If it doesn't work, we'll do something else. I'm capable of doing anything. Um, and I expect Kaisee to bring like 100% of himself to come in and win. He's just come off the back of a loss. He's not going to want to lose again. This is the most dangerous time to fight Kaisee Benjamin, and it's my first defense. And I again, I would never turn the opportunity down to box on such a good platform. So hopefully it all pays off in terms of win the fight and maybe another opportunity like Samuel Boxer does happen, and it'll be life changing for me.
It's like you could have probably had an easier sort of first offense sort of as well. Like I guess the thing for you is that the easier the fight sometimes you probably can't then show the next levels. And as you say, obviously, when an opportunity comes to fight in Sky Sports, you can't turn it down.
Yeah, 100%. You can't turn these opportunities down. They're like once in a lifetime opportunities. Like Gary Colley, like you said, he got the opportunity and he took it, and it was a once in a lifetime opportunity, and it proved that because Eddie Hearn then went on to sign him. He's making life changing money. He's getting life changing opportunities, and he's fighting in historical events. So that's the pathway. You know what I mean? And that's what I want to achieve. That's what I want. I want the same of that.
Obviously, when I speak, and obviously you're now a TV star. Obviously, not for obviously the box and everything else, but I know up here in Northern Ireland, obviously we had it in the iPlayer for the last few months. It's just been streamed in TG4 in the south, but you obviously done a documentary, obviously Southpaw, which I think pretty much led up to the pandemic. So sort of it followed obviously your career for a bit of time. I'm sure you've obviously got a lot of praise out of obviously that, and I guess the real you probably shone through in that in a way, because a lot of what there was probably things that come out in that documentary I wasn't aware of about you, but you were completely, as like Ron Sales, exactly what it says in the tin. It came out very, very well on you.
Yeah, I got plenty of credit from a lot of people, a lot of different people praising me, and so saying I came across as a good, as a really nice fella and all the rest of that. That's who I am anyway. It doesn't matter to me. I don't treat anyone any different. If you're nice to me, I'm nice to you. And like as I said, it was very, very well done documentary by the producers and directors, and they followed me for the guts of 3.5 years from Glasgow to Dublin, from no title fights to being way down the card, the headlining cards. Um, and they got the highs and lows of my career, and uh and it was put together brilliantly. And as I said, a lot of people praise me for it, saying that they really enjoyed it. So I'm happy enough for that, and I'll take that. And I'm talking with the producer who's actually working on his own now that about doing a second one, potentially pushing on towards world honors.
It came out very well, and obviously the big thing obviously I found out a lot of, as we see in a lot of Belfast in particular, obviously with mental health. I wasn't aware that you would affect it so much with mental health with losing people and things, but I guess sometimes the way that people are, that you sort of put on a brave face and try and help other people out, who nearly hasn't been affected in some way with mental health in this country, the way things have been for years. But I thought you came out as a really good ambassador for mental health, and the fact that you're able to lend a hand to anybody. Like I would say, if anybody picked up the phone to you and says, "Sean, I need a hand," or "Sean, I need a coffee," you'd be straight in the car to them.
I've done so in the past, and I'm always open even now. If anyone that's watching this, give me a shout if you're suffering from mental health. Um, I'm not qualified in terms of being a fucking like exact like I don't know how I would say it. Like I'm no doctor that can start fucking making you better, but I've a good ear, and I'm a good listener, and I can give you good advice on life. But mental health all around us. Everyone suffers from it. Everyone, well, most people in these areas anyway do. A lot of people do, and it's close within my family as well. I've seen a lot of close family and friends suffer from mental health, and it's not nice. Um, but as I say, I'm always here for anyone that needs a chat or just needs to have a yarn. I'm always open to that, always, and I'm willing to help anyone from all walks of life. I don't care what your background is or where you come from. Um, people like if I was ever in that situation, I would like to think there was people out there to help me, and that's the way it is. And I've never suffered from mental health ever. Touch wood, I don't want to ever, but I know from speaking to other people close to me that it's a very, very, very lonely place. And if I can make someone feel even the smallest bit less lonely, then I'm here. I'm all ears.
I think it's a life experience. Sometimes I haven't suffered with mental health myself, say like yourself, thankfully, touch wood. But obviously, I think you have that. Sometimes you have that knack of being able to cut through the bullshit. Sometimes there's no point painting over rust because it's going to come back. You might as well tell someone the truth, and having the ear and listening to people sometimes is what people appreciate. You know what the world's like nowadays. People will tell you that X, Y, and Z, but then they'll tell something else behind your back. You know what? You could, I
Yeah.
guess me and you's probably similar the way we'll tell people the stone honest truth. We'd sit with you for 3 hours and have a talk if that's what it took. You know, and I guess sometimes that's what someone needs, just someone to talk to.
Honest, people just need that. People just need to have a yarn and just people just need to get shit off their chest. You know what I mean? People just need to get that weight if they're carrying a weight on their shoulders, just need to release it. And if that's just talking, it could be going around, it could go a walk, go just do something, do some form of exercise, do something to do with nature while having that yarn, while having that chat, and it will 100% make you 10 times like later, make you feel 10 times later. And like I've heard it in the past, like from people saying to me, I feel burnt after, I feel thank you for it, or whatever else. I mean, it goes a long way, and people never forget that because that's when a lot of people's that's when they're at their lowest. They'll never forget that. Um,
Your
but
gym's obviously buzzing as well, and obviously you've been doing a lot for obviously charity. I guess sometimes you don't want to put out how much you sort of do for charity because people think that you do something for the sake of it. You know, obviously missile fitness is flying; it's going from strength to strength. I guess that obviously just shows with obviously you and Marty and the likes of them. You're just always there for a laugh, but showing that you can have a laugh whilst you're obviously working hard. I'm seeing obviously you're posting there obviously clients losing loads of weight and building their confidence. Fitness is obviously a massive part for obviously mental health and probably making a difference in a lot of people's lives away from the sort of ring as well as what you do and giving people hope when you do box as well.
yeah, 100%. Well, like our gym's always there. Missile Fitness is always there. They open hands to anyone. Doesn't matter what age you are, what what walk of life you came through. We're always there. Open arms. We're a very friendly environment, and one of the most satisfying things for us is seeing people grow from strength to strength and grow in confidence, which we've seen on numerous occasions with our members now, and they're the most friendliest, kindest, nicest people that you could ever come across, and it's a pleasure to work with them all. And anyone else comes in, my one of my greatest pleasures is seeing people grow from strength to strength and confidence. Because when you first walk through the door of a gym, it's so intimidating. It's even for me to go to a different boxing gym, it's intimidating. Your nerves are wrecked. And if you can overcome that and we can help you overcome it, I can guarantee you that you will just go from strength to strength and you will never look back and go, geez, I would never do that again. Because it's like you're just in your happy place. It becomes your happy place and becomes that free. Like you're just free for 1 hour, whatever length of time it is you train for, but you're just free with like-minded people on the same journey as you are.
And I definitely, it's probably one thing that I probably would say that I guess we are so busy sometimes with the box and I sometimes forget about my own life. And, you know, I'd say I probably haven't been in the gym in 4 years. And it sort of tells sometimes you just, you know, you nearly have that adrenaline rush over it when you go training and it's like getting your haircut. You know, you get your haircut and you feel amazing. You're walking about going, everybody can spot I've got my haircut. You know that feeling you have.
Um,
You come out of that gym with the endorphins it's sort of built and you're bulletproof, nothing can affect you. You've just released sort of stress and strain and you come out of the gym doors and you're going, let's go and run a marathon. You know, you just have that you've had
yeah,
it's like a caffeine sort of rush you sort of have, but your mind's just relaxing all them endorphins that's needed.
yeah, 100%. Your mind's just the thought of going to the gym is a nightmare. I know that for anyone, including myself, who has to do it for a living. I the drive to Dublin sometimes is mental torture. The drive home from Dublin after I've trained and sparred and performed well is like I could take on the world, and that's the feeling you're always chasing. You can't buy it. No money in the world can buy it. You could be a billionaire, and if you never train, you're never going to feel like it. It's as simple as that. You can get all the treatment you want. You're never going to feel as good as you do when you leave a gym. When you've put on a good session, you cannot buy that feeling. And when you want to feel like that, even though beforehand you're hemming and hamming about doing it, you're chasing that feeling after, and it's worth it. 10 times out of 10, it's worth it.
Obviously, boxer, obviously TV star. You're obviously now a bit of a comedian now on TikTok as well. Anybody that's on TikTok, they see it, your jokes. Are you becoming Tommy McCarthy part two? Is this where are you sort of getting yourself out
I'm
there
the
on
OG.
TikTok?
Tommy McCarthy's a Sean McComb point too. I'm the OG. You know what I
But
mean?
but
I
obviously,
just do it from a platform. Tommy McCarthy does it live with crap. Hats off to him because it takes some balls to do.
like, how many whenever you do your sort of jokes and stuff on TikTok, do you have a lot of sort of, I guess sometimes you have a lot of edits where you think you're doing it right, you watch it back and you
And
go, I
I just
don't
wing
like
it.
it. You just wing it.
I just wing it. I wing it, wing a bollock at it, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I don't. I couldn't. Well, who's gonna say anything? I don't want it to be perfect. There's no such thing as perfect. You know what I mean? Just let it rip. And
I,
whatever way people want to see it, they can see it. I never, ever, ever do take one, take two, take three. I just let it rip.
I guess sometimes people can find you funny. You know the way sometimes someone will tell a joke and before they ever get to the punchline, you're already laughing your head off. You use that sort of
Ah,
effect as well. It's sometimes in the way you tell it. It's not in the actual joke itself, and you just have that characteristic in you. You're just mad, So even before you get to the punchline, someone's already fallen off their seat, laughing their head off, and going, "What was the joke? Tell me that joke again."
missed the joke.
I
Missed the joke.
Um, obviously, you're getting out of the start of a busy period. Obviously, Katie Taylor, obviously, um, going for undisputed at a second weight class, and obviously Mick, first world title fight since there's a superstar himself.
Say hello. Say
Um,
hello.
obviously Mick, first world title fight in Belfast since Paddy Barnes, at Windsor Park in 2018. May's
Yeah.
obviously a massive month for Irish boxing, and you're sort of starting it off next weekend. Um, obviously Mick becoming world champion, on the 27th of May. You'll know obviously you've been around him in the setup and everything else in the amateur code. What does that obviously do for Irish boxing, and more particular for Belfast boxing moving forward?
Yeah. Well, it's massive. Obviously, we all know it's massive for Mick and massive for Irish boxing. I think what Mick's already done anyway in terms of Irish boxing and brought shows to Belfast has already been massive anyway on its own. And that's without the world titles. He's still a headline act. If he wins a world title, every fight from here on out will be like massive and like he's already given us so much opportunities, Mick. Do you know what I mean? Like boxing wouldn't be where it is right now in Belfast if it wasn't for McComb. Simple as that. He's paved the way for us. And we were his teammates in the Irish team, and we all got opportunities off the back of Mick's success. And the more he succeeds, the more opportunities fellow Irish boxers are going to get.
And then obviously, on that card as well, obviously I know a big mate of yours, obviously Anto Kaisee, obviously he's fighting for the first time uh, in Belfast since 2015. It seems to be obviously where you're not on the card, there's still it shows the strength coming through now. We're still able to, you're not on the card, and obviously others aren't on the card, and you're still going. We've still got an amazing card that's going to be on here in Belfast, and BT Sports as well. It's another massive boost for boxing here, that we can bring the big boys back to Belfast.
Yeah, 100%. Like as I said, mentioned before, like there's so many big names now in Irish boxing. Like Paddy McCrory's world champion, and I think he's way down the bill. That just shows you the level of fighters we have here. Um, Paddy's a headline acting himself. You've Tom McCann, who's also a headline acting himself with a right fight. That is Kikachi. Get Kikachi the right fight. He's a headline act. Get me the right fight against the top 10 opponent. World title eliminator or something like that. I could be a headline act and then a good undercard. We have so many people in Belfast with the right backing and right promotion company coming in who can headline shows here, and it's phenomenal. It's phenomenal. It just goes to show you that the clubs from grassroots right through doing the right thing with people giving kids that opportunity.
It's it's like sort of like success, the old said success breeds success. Obviously, we've seen last year when obviously Paddy and Anto and Dennis Hogan all won the IBO honours, that sort of
Yeah,
that conveyor belt kept going. Obviously, Mick lands it. There was obviously talk of Tommy McCarthy obviously fighting for a world title. The next thing you go again, then a lot of Irish boxers get world title opportunities. Obviously, Jay Quigley's in another big fight. It just seems to be
yeah,
that Irish boxers are now getting the opportunities that was sort of lost nearly whenever, sort of, I know Frampton's only retired a couple of years, but we sort of went through that period where you had Frampton headline and Burnett headline in the SSE, and then we went for like 3 or 4 years sort of without the big shows sort of coming
Yeah,
back, and now they're coming back in full swing.
yeah, that's it. Well, everyone's active. So the fact that everyone's active, we're getting them opportunities to fight on big shows. And the more they keep winning and performing, the more they're going to get closer to headlining their own shows, including myself.
Obviously, want to touch on your other favorite pastime away from boxing and the gym and everything else, Man City. Obviously, going for a treble. Must be the best time ever, Sean. Obviously, being a City fan, I know they've obviously won the league 3 of the last 4 years and stuff as well. But to be chasing, finally, obviously looking like potentially going to win the Champions League, United in the FA Cup final. Looks like the league maybe could be wrapped up as well. Best time ever to be a City fan at the moment.
Barbara,
Is everybody
2 seconds.
hating?
Sorry, Steve. Sorry, he's fucking put my head on. Go over and stand and watch a TV show. I want to watch TV or shut up. Sorry, lad.
He's just like his dad. He just wants to be famous.
He's a fucking nuisance, I'll tell you that much. A proper nuisance.
But obviously, do you find with your success with obviously City with the football, people are nearly saying, "Oh, here's Sean at it again with the football." Are you loving this at the moment that City's cleaning up?
100%. I'm loving it. Love it. I took enough stick when I was younger. My two older brothers are United, man. Me and my dad are City, man. So we took a lot of stick off the back ends going up in City's lack of success and United's success itself. So the tables have turned the last 30 years, and I can take full enjoyment from City's success and seeing United feel misery and Liverpool falling short and even Arsenal now falling short. It's great to see. He actually got tickets to go and watch the Madrid semi final here at the Etihad with me and my dad. So over to watch City tank Real Madrid in the semi final of the Champions League, and what an experience that'll be.
Definitely. Well, and obviously defending your WBO European belt next week. Um, you can nearly take the boat with you and do a victory lap with him on the pitch, John Terry style.
Oh, well, that's the way to do it, isn't it? Bring it with me and just live it up.
You might as
Any
well.
opportunity.
Obviously, winning next week, obviously, as I say, can open big doors and big platforms and everything else. How do you see the fight going next week? Do you see it being a KG affair? Have we seen in your last couple of fights? It's nearly you're not even hardly even landing up. You're not even hardly receiving a punch. You just been that slick. Do you see you put on a master class? It doesn't matter what Kaisee brings.
Yeah, well, as I said before, when I joined with Pete again, and Pete got me back to the Sean McComb that was good in the amateurs, and he says just because you're a professional doesn't mean you can't box like an amateur. Your best attribute is your feet, so let you move your feet. Um, Distance control, feints, all that carry on, and I've been doing it sparring, and I've been absolutely flying sparring in these last load of camps. Same my last performance, I don't even think I get hit once, and I broke my hand in the third round. So I was still able to perform like that with just the lead hand, and my left hand was out. So the feet are what's work or what works are what works for me, and I just had to stick to that. It hasn't went wrong yet with Pete with these tactics, and it's perfect for that style of come forward and trying to, like, if he's coming at me 100 mile an hour trying to walk me down, trying to blast me away. I hope that suits me the way I've been performing. And the reason being is off the back of that Gavin Gwynn loss, I made sure that I will not lose that way again. And that's
Yeah.
by just boxing and moving my feet.
It's like you've sort of made yourself bulletproof in that way. The fact that you know what you've tasted defeat, obviously, as an amateur. You've now tasted defeat, obviously, as a pro. You don't want to taste that feeling again. So you know that if you get into them scenarios again, you know what to do to avoid it.
Yeah, 100%. What I need to do to avoid them scenarios is just stick to my game plan. and just be an absolute nightmare for everyone else to fight. I'm trying to pin me down. People chase me, running after me, trying to. You see, Sonny Edwards did. He's moving around the ring, and he's just so hard to pin down. And I believe that's a very similar style to what I have. And my feet work so good and so fast that people are going to struggle to pin me down without getting hit in the process.
Well, listen, obviously we know the time is just about to run out there. We obviously wish you all the very best for obviously next Saturday in Birmingham. For those that obviously can't be there, tune in to Sky Sports. Obviously we'll have information up during the week, but hopefully, fingers crossed, Sean, next Saturday night it's and still, and you can obviously bring that boat back to Belfast again.
Well, that's the plan. That's what I'm here to do.
Well, listen, thanks very much for your time as always, and we'll catch up with you very soon.
I'm banging a chip.
Cheers, Sean. Take care. Thanks. Bye
Good
bye.
man, see you.
Cheers. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye.